Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of First Coast Storm Tracking. Today, we're going to be covering a storm event that happened a couple days ago on July 17th of 2023. There was severe weather. I don't think there was anything particularly notable about this day. I don't think there was any major damage or injuries or anything like that. But, meteorologically speaking, it is a great example of, honestly, just the wonder that Mother Nature gives me sometimes. Because you get to see, really how these storms progress, and I'm going to explain later on how the storm personally impacted me on that day. And, honestly, really being in front of Mother Nature's fury really is just, an insane feeling. It almost makes you feel, well, not almost, it just does make you feel alive. And I'm going to explain what happened in just a second, but first, here's a little bit of footage I got from the day. Yeah, I know that wasn't exactly the most compelling storm footage ever, but unfortunately, I went and picked through about 40 minutes of recording, and that's really all I got. Yeah, definitely, that wasn't a storm chase day, that was a stay at home day, and unfortunately, we were not in the right position for the storm. As you can see on this radar scan, barely any lightning occurred near us. Most of it was not only a county over, but also through the entire opposite side of the storm that was producing heavy rain. So we were barely able to see anything. Alright, so let's back up a little bit and I'll show you some of the interesting things I saw on radar throughout the day, since we didn't really get to see too much in person. First off, our first round of storms came through between the 12 and 1 p.m. hour, and as you can see, as one storm collapsed, it spawned basically, I won't say identical, but I would say a storm of about the same intensity immediately after its collapse. So that right there is a good example of how storms cycle and how the collapse of one storm can help create another. Between the hours of 3 and 4 p.m., multiple strong thunderstorms began approaching from the north across the Florida-Georgia line, prompting special weather statements to be issued on each of them. These storms would later form together into a more consolidated line of thunderstorms known as a squall line. At around 4:30, I decided to go for a walk because the storms were moving in pretty slowly, but then of course I was wrong, and by the time I was about ready to head home, yeah, it was getting pretty close already, and it was forming into a more consolidated squall line. I didn't have my car, I was just on foot, and a strong storm was coming. I captured this picture right here when I was coming up under the shelf cloud about to get home, and yeah, it was a really scary sight. I ended up not having that much reason to worry, as the storm cell that came over us weakened in favor of a cell that was to the east in St. Johns County, which went on to produce a pretty powerful downburst of at least 60 miles per hour. However, the downburst and its accompanying storm, which was a part of the squall line, did not manage to hold together for very long and started to fall apart around 8 o'clock. At its height, the squall line seemed to go on for over 100 miles, but as you can see here, it's not just one storm, it's made up of multiple storm cells. And that's really all I have for today, all. In the future, unless videos end up having a ton of footage, I expect First Coast Storm Tracking videos to end up being a little bit shorter and to be a little bit snappier, because I know, sitting down for 30 plus minutes of weather analysis is a lot. I mean, honestly, sitting down for even more than 15 or 20, but it really all depends on what type of footage we get and what is interesting, because I feel like the reason why this video was really short is there wasn't really too much interesting footage I caught today. We were on the wrong side of the storm. So yeah, I hope y'all come back next time, tune in for more, and I'll be here. I hope y'all have a safe day. Always remember to stay weather aware, and I hope you're happy wherever you are.